The first tournament I ever watched was the 2010 World Cup. I had just turned 9 years old and football fever was in the air. At the time I didn't have any club preference, I didn't even know what club football was, to be honest, and since my country didn't make it to the tournament, I just watched as a neutral fan. Although there were so many memorable moments in that tournament, from the favelas, the Grana Suarez incident, Forlan absolute bangers, one moment stood out the most to me. In the final, and as the game is dragging out, Arjen Robben gets an opening on goal. He goes head to head with Iker Casillas, an easy goal to win the Netherlands the World Cup. Yet somehow Casillas manages to stop the shot, sending Spain to extra time and eventually winning the World Cup, becoming a legend in the process. This trend continued as I watched more football. Peter Cech with Chelsea in 2012, Manuel Neuer in 2013 with Bayern, and 2014 with Germany. Performances so good that earned him a nomination for the Ballon d'Or, as well as Keylor Navas with Costa Rica leading his country to the quarterfinals, and Bono with Morocco in the 2022 World Cup. And then we got Marc Andre Ter Stegn.
Wait. I don't know what's going on with you. You listen.
Mats moved to Barcelona in 2014 from
Borussia Mönchengladbach.
Claudio Bravo being the main man at Barcelona at the time. And no matter how many times he messed up, no matter how many times he fucked up, no matter how many goals he conceded, he remains the number one choice. And he is the reason, in my opinion, why Barcelona is never going to be a serious contender for European Championship and perhaps even domestic competitions. Sure, he was a decent goalkeeper when he first arrived, but in the past 8 years where Barcelona disappointed, especially in the European front, his performances showed Barcelona the back door time and time again. Starting off with Atletico Madrid in 2016, where he conceded 3 goals to get knocked out early on. Sure, this might have been a one-off, but the following year against PSG, he conceded 4 goals in Paris, pushing Barcelona to perform a miracle that he almost messed up, by the way, to come back with 6-1, go forward in the competition, only to concede 3 goals against Juventus and get knocked out. The following year against Roma, Barcelona won the home game 4-1, only to concede 3 in the away game and get knocked out. In 2019, they led 3-0 at home, only to concede 4 goals at Anfield and get knocked out in spectacular fashion. And in 2020, the biggest embarrassment in the club's modern history, 8-2 against Bayern Munich, a total blowout. What's the shared elements between all of these games? Mats was in goal, or maybe he wasn't. It wouldn't make much of a difference, it looks like. Now, any sensible team who witnesses such catastrophic losses would start off with the goalkeeper, but not Barcelona. They don't even bring in any competition, something very important in any team to push the starters to maintain their level, or even get better in fear of getting replaced, something we see all the time. Real Madrid, for instance, even though having a World Cup winning certified club legend in the form of Iker Casillas, when he started to mess up, the administration just pushed him out the club and replaced him with Navas, who was eager to make a name for himself. And even with Navas around, they brought in Courtois to keep the competition going. Arsenal, despite having Aaron Ramsdale doing a good job, once he started to make some mistakes, he was swiftly benched in favor of Raya, who also had to fight for his spot. Manchester City have 2 world-class goalkeepers who are at each other's necks for the starter spot. Chelsea has more than 6 goalkeepers at the senior team, acting like a Royal Rumble in their locker room. Same as for Liverpool, which when Karius messed up in the UCL final was banished to the shadow realm. God, even Sevilla, who had a goalkeeper that was nominated for the best award, brought in Halvik to maintain competition within the club. But what did Barcelona do? Absolutely nothing. And the trend of losing continued. In 2021, Mats conceded 4 goals against PSG at home. 2022 gets embarrassed against Bayern twice in the group stage, sending Barcelona to the Europa League to concede concede 5 in total against Frankfurt. And they're repeating this cycle again in the next year, getting eliminated in the group stages, and this time getting eliminated against Manchester United in the Europa League. And last year in Europe, barely surviving a very easy group while losing against Shakhtar, a team literally at war. Then getting 6 goals past him against PSG in the quarterfinals. And instead of sending him to Saudi or at least bringing in some competition, they promoted him to club captain. Now, I can sense some of you saying that I forgot that the club had absolutely horrible defense, and you'll be right, Barcelona did have some shockingly bad defenders over the years, but not anymore. I think it's safe to say that Barcelona have improved very well on their defenders, with Jules Koundé, Araujo and Christensen at the back line, with Cubarsí and Garcia breaking in from La Masia. But that leads us back into our arguments. In 2022, Courtois carried Real Madrid into a Champions League win. Dibu was so clutch for Argentina in the World Cup and Copa Americas. This highlights the role of the goalkeeper time and time again, and why having competition for any position at the club is very important and very healthy, as is Barcelona doing with its backline and midfield right now. When Real Madrid's Courtois tore his ACL last year, instead of only relying on Lunin, who showed up when it mattered, they went and brought in Kepa from Chelsea, the most expensive goalkeeper in history. PSG, despite having Navas, they went in and signed Donnarumma. After Navas went and Donnarumma became the number 1, they followed it by signing Arnau Tenas from Barcelona for free, because he found that it was very difficult to break into the first team. And apparently not a PSG or Spain, where he led his team to win an Olympic gold. Meanwhile, Matt is conceding 4 goals against Girona at home and away, 5 against Villarreal, many goals at the first minute of multiple games. Don't even get me started on the goals Madrid scored past him. And as recently as this preseason, Milan scored 2 goals past him from 2 shots on target, and Monaco put 2 past him in the Gamper Trophy. Had Yamal looking at him with murder on his mind. In La Liga, in the first 3 games, he didn't manage to keep a clean sheet, conceding near post goals. I'm not saying Mats is unplayable, as of recently at least, but looking at the facts that Neuer, who is 8 years his senior by the way, still managed to be the number 1 choice at the German team, with Ter Stegen getting 0 minutes in any major competition, with multiple managers leading the national team, speaks volumes. So instead of looking for spending money on players that don't even get a chance to play, Vitor Roque, Barcelona needs to seriously start looking for a new goalkeeper, or at least bring in someone that will compete against him for the starter position.